Hi, it's Sue. Thanks for joining me for today's Bible reading. I'm reading April 25th, 2 Kings 12 through 14. And I just want to remind you that there is a speed control on YouTube. If you'd like to hear the video either slower or faster, you should be able to click on the menu or the three little dots and find the, or even the little gear icon. Maybe. It depends on what you have on your phone or laptop. But anyway, click on the menu and you'll find the playback speed. So I like to listen to videos a little faster. Some people like to listen to them more slowly. So there's that for anyone who didn't know about that. Chapter 12, verse 1. Jehoash began to reign in the 7th year of Jehu, and he reigned 40 years in Jerusalem. So here's Jehu down south, remember, in Judah, in Jerusalem, as opposed to Israel up north. His mother's name was Zibiah of Beersheba. Jehoash did that which was right in Yahweh's eyes all his days in which Jehoiada the priest instructed him. However, the high places were not taken away. The people still sacrificed and burned incense in the high places. Jehoash said to the priests, all the money of the holy things that is brought into Yahweh's house, in current money, the money of the people for whom each man is evaluated, and all the money that it comes into any man's heart to bring into Yahweh's house, let the priests take it to them, each man from his donor, and they shall repair the damage to the house, wherever any damage is found. So he wanted to take the money and repair the temple. But it was so that in the 23rd year of King Jehoash, the priests had not repaired the damage to the house. Then King Jehoash called for Jehoiada the priest and for other priests, and said to them, why don't you repair the damage to the house? Now therefore take no more money from your treasurers, but deliver it for repair of the damage to the house. The priests consented that they should take no more money from the people and not repair the damage to the house. But Jehoiada the priest took a chest and bored a hole in its lid and set it beside the altar on the right side as one comes into Yahweh's house. And the priests who kept the threshold put all the money that was brought into Yahweh's house in it. When they saw that there was much money in the chest, the king's scribe and the high priest came up, and they put it in bags and counted the money that was found in Yahweh's house. They gave the money that was weighed out into the hands of the people who did the work, who had the oversight of Yahweh's house, and they paid it out to the carpenters and the builders who worked on Yahweh's house, and to the masons and the stonecutters, and for buying timber and cut stone to repair the damage to Yahweh's house, and for all that was laid out for the house to repair it. But there were not made for Yahweh's house cups of silver, snuffers, basins, trumpets, any vessel of gold, vessel of silver, of the money that was brought into Yahweh's house. For they gave that to those who did the work and repaired Yahweh's house with it. Moreover, they didn't demand an accounting from the men into whose hand they delivered the money to give to those who did the work, for they dealt faithfully. The money for the trespass offering, the money for the sin offering, was not brought into Yahweh's house, it was the priest. Then Hazael, king of Syria, remember him from the last couple days? Remember Israel was at odds with them? So Hazael, king of Syria, went up and fought against Gath and took it. And Hazael set his face to go up to Jerusalem. Jehoash, king of Judah, took all the holy things that Jehoshaphat and Jehoram and Ahaziah his father, kings of Judah, had dedicated, and his own holy things, and all the gold that was found in the treasuries of Yahweh's house and of the king's house, and sent it to Hazael, king of Syria, and he went away from Jerusalem. Now the rest of the acts of Joash and all that he did, aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? His servants arose and made a conspiracy and struck Joash at the house of Milo on the way that goes down to the Sills. No, I'm sorry, on the way that goes down to Silla. For Josakhar, the son of Shimeath, and Jehozabad, the son of Shomor, his servant, struck him, and he died. And they buried him with the fathers in David's city, and Amaziah his son reigned in his place. In the 23rd year of Joash, the son of Ahaziah, king of Judah, Jehoaz, the son of Jehu, began to reign over Israel in Samaria. So, again, I want to reiterate this because it's easy to let all these places kind of whiz by without understanding. So we had Ahaziah, oh no, Joash in Jerusalem, in Judah, ruling there as king over that kingdom. And then you had Jehoaz up north in Samaria and Israel, right? So they were each in their own capital. Down south, it was Jerusalem was the capital of Judah, and up north, Samaria was the capital of Israel. So it's all it's saying is that we have these two kings here. So Jehoaz was over Israel and Samaria for 17 years. He did that which was evil in Yahweh's sight, and followed the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, with which he made Israel to sin. He didn't depart from it. Yahweh's anger burned against Israel, and he delivered them into the hand of Hazael king of Syria, and into the hand of Ben-Hadad the son of Hazael continually. So this king of Syria, Hazael, if I'm saying his name right, he's been around a while, and just like this overshadowing figure. And remember, I think it was yesterday or the day before, one of the prophets actually went up there to talk to him as well. So it's like God would send him not just to the king of Israel or the king of Judah, but also to speak to this king in Syria. Pretty interesting, the political dynamics here. And it's like, it's almost like, there's always this pressure of this kind of fear of invasion from these overshadowing, fearful governments. And, it seems like God, he uses them. He uses that in his oversight of the earth's governance. I'm not sure I understand it all, but it's interesting to observe. Verse 4. Jehoaz begged Yahweh, and Yahweh listened to him, for he saw the oppression of Israel, how the king of Syria oppressed them. Yahweh gave Israel a savior, so that they went out from under the hand of the Syrians, and the children of Israel lived in their tents as before. Nevertheless, they didn't depart from the sins of the house of Jeroboam with which he made Israel to sin, but walked in them. And the Asherah also remained in Samaria. For he didn't leave to Jehoaz, of the people any more than 50 horsemen and 10 chariots and 10,000 footmen. The king of Syria destroyed them and made them like the dust in threshing. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoaz and all that he did in his might, aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So yeah, I'm seeing here Hazael oppress them and basically bankrupt them. They're living in tents and they don't have much. It said he didn't leave them more than 50 horsemen and 10 chariots and 10,000 footmen because he had destroyed them, it says. And earlier we saw how down south the king of Judah gave away pretty much everything he had of value. He scraped together and sent to this king. So I'm sure that didn't leave them with very much. I mean, he had to go, if he goes into the temple and takes out the gold and all their precious things that they're really they're down to that, right? So pretty interesting here. Seems like the way they're living isn't working for them very well. So again, where did I leave off? Let's see. So it says, he destroyed them and made them like the dust in threshing. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoaz and all that he did and his might, aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? Jehoaz slept with his fathers, and they buried him in Samaria, and Joash his son reigned in his place. In the 37th year of Joash king of Judah, Jehoash the son of Jehoaz began to reign over Israel and Samaria for 16 years. He did that which was evil in Yahweh's sight. He didn't depart from all the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, with which he made Israel to sin, but he walked in them. Now the rest of the acts of Joash, and all that he did, and his might with which he fought against Amaziah king of Judah, aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? Jehoash slept with his fathers, and Jeroboam sat on the throne. Joash was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. Now Elisha became sick with the illness of which he died. And Joash the king of Israel came down to him and wept over him and said, my father, the chariots of Israel and its horsemen. Elisha said to him, take bow and arrows. And he took bow and arrows for himself. And he said to the king of Israel, put your hand on the bow. And he put his hand on it. And Elisha laid his hand on the king's hands and said, open the window eastward. And he opened it. Then Elisha said, shoot. And he shot. And he said, Yahweh's arrow of victory, even the arrow of victory over Syria. You will strike the Syrians in Aphek until you have consumed them. He said, "Take the arrows," and he took them. And he said to the king of Israel, "Strike the ground." And he struck 3 times and stopped. The man of God was angry with him and said, "You should have struck 5 or 6 times. Then you would have struck Syria until you had consumed it. Whereas now you will strike Syria just 3 times." Elisha died, and they buried him. Now the bands of Moabites invaded the land at the coming of the year. And when they were, as they were burying a man, behold, they saw a band of raiders, and they threw the man into Elisha's tomb. As soon as the man touched Elisha's bones, he revived, stood up on his feet. Hazael, king of Syria, oppressed Israel all the days of Jehoahaz, but Yahweh was gracious to them and had compassion on them and had respect for them because of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and would not destroy them. And he didn't cast out from his presence as yet. Hazael, king of Syria, died, and Ben-Hadad the son reigned in his place. Jehoash the son of Jehoahaz took again out of the hand of Ben-Hadad the son of Hazael the cities which he had taken out of the hand of Jehoahaz his father by war. Joash struck him 3 times and recovered the cities of Israel. In the 2nd year of Joash, son of Jehoahaz, king of Israel, Amaziah the son of Joash, king of Judah, began to reign. He was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Jehoaddan of Jerusalem. He did that which was right in Yahweh's eyes, yet not like David his father. He did according to all that Joash his father had done. However, the high places were not taken away. The people still sacrificed and burned incense in the high places. As soon as the kingdom was established in his hand, he killed the servants who had slain the king his father, but the children of the murderers he didn't put to death, according to that which was written in the book of the law of Moses, as Yahweh commanded, saying, "The father shall not be put to death for the children, nor the children be put to death for the fathers, but every man shall die for his own sin." He killed 10,000 Edomites in the valley of Salt, and took Selah by war, and called its name Joktheel to this day. Then Amaziah sent messengers to Joash the son of Jehoahaz, son of Jehu, king of Israel, saying, "Come, let us look one another in the face." Jehoahaz the king of Israel sent to Amaziah the king of Judah, saying, "The thistle that was in Lebanon sent to the cedar that was in Lebanon, saying, 'Give your daughter to my son as a wife.' Then a wild animal that was in Lebanon passed by and trampled down the thistle. You have indeed struck Edom, and your heart has lifted you up. Enjoy the glory of it and stay at home. For why should you meddle to your harm that you fall, even you and Judah with you?" But Amaziah would not listen. So Jehoash king of Israel went up, and he and Amaziah king of Judah looked one another in the face at Beth-shemesh, which belongs to Judah. Judah was defeated by Israel, and each man fled to his tent. Jehoash king of Israel took Amaziah king of Judah, the son of Jehoash, the son of Ahaziah, at Beth-shemesh, and came to Jerusalem, and broke down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim to the corner gate, 400 cubits. He took all the gold and silver and all the vessels that were found at Yahweh's house and in the treasuries of the king's house, the hostages also, and returned to Samaria. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoash which he did in his might, and how he fought with Amaziah king of Judah, aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So sorry. Jehoash slept with his fathers and was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. And Jeroboam his son reigned in his place. Amaziah the son of Jehoash king of Judah lived after the death of Jehoash son of Jehoahaz king of Israel 15 years. Now the rest of the acts of Amaziah, aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? They made a conspiracy against him in Jerusalem, and he fled to Lachish. But they sent after him to Lachish and killed him there. They brought him on horses, and he was buried in Jerusalem with his fathers in David's city. All the people of Judah took Azariah, who was 16 years old, and made him king in the place of his father Amaziah. He built Elath and restored it to Judah. After that the king slept with his fathers. In the 15th year of Amaziah the son of Joash the king of Judah, Jeroboam the son of Joash king of Israel began to reign in Samaria 41 years. He did that which was evil in Yahweh's sight. He didn't depart from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, with which he made Israel to sin. He restored the border of Israel from the entrance of Hamath to the sea of the Arabah, according to Yahweh the God of Israel's word, which he spoke by his servant Jonah the son of Amittai, the prophet, who was from Gath Hepher. For Yahweh saw the affliction of Israel, that it was very bitter, for all for all slave and free, and there was no helper for Israel. Yahweh didn't say that he would blot out the name of Israel from under the sky, but he saved them by the hand of Jeroboam the son of Joash. Now the rest of the acts of Jeroboam, and all that he did, and his might, and how he fought, and how he recovered Damascus and Hamath, which had belonged to Judah for Israel, aren't they written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? Jeroboam slept with his fathers, even with the kings of Israel, and Zechariah his son reigned in his place. That's it for today. Shalom.